Welcome to Georgia Studies Shorts. Let's look at the wrist crops grown in Georgia during the colonial period. During the colonial period, there were many crops that were tested to see if they would grow and be successful in Georgia. Many crops were very successful in South Carolina, so King George II wanted to try these crops in Georgia. One way to remember what was grown in Georgia is wrist. This stands for wine, rice, indigo, silk, and tobacco. Unfortunately, these crops were not as successful in Georgia as they were in South Carolina. The colonists wanted to grow grapes to produce wine. Wine was a very popular drink of this time period. Britain wanted to be able to use Georgia's land to cultivate and grow grapes in large quantities. Growing grapes was very successful in the Carolinas and moderately successful in Georgia. Another crop that became Georgia's first staple crop was rice. Rice is a very labor-intensive crop and takes a lot of effort to grow. When Georgia was first colonized, slavery was not allowed. This hindered the ability to have large plantations. When the ban on slavery was lifted, rice plantations became very popular. Rice plantations initially were in inland freshwater swamps in the coastal plain region of Georgia. Rice plantations moved to rivers such as the Savannah, Ogeechee, the Altamaha, and the Satilla. Rice cultivation eventually increased to over 40,000 acres during the Royal Colony period. Another highly desirable crop in Britain was indigo. Indigo is a plant that produces a bluish-purple dye that is highly desirable by British textile producers. This crop was so desired that the British government offered a bonus for large quantities of indigo. One negative about indigo is long-term exposure to vapors released by indigo production can cause harm to the workers handling it. There are also disease-carrying insects on the plants. These factors often reduced the lives of the people involved in processing indigo. Another important, but unsuccessful crop in Georgia was silk. The British were hoping to compete with France and Italy with the production of silk. Therefore, one of the requirements for the colonists in Georgia was they had to grow mulberry trees. Silk is created from silkworms. Silkworms need mulberry trees to provide the sustenance they need to survive and thrive. Since most of the English colonists were unfamiliar with silk production, the British brought skilled Italian silk makers to the colony. Within 1 year, colonists were exporting silk to Britain. Unfortunately, the seasonal temperatures in Georgia were harmful to the sensitive silkworms. Therefore, Georgia was mildly successful in the production of silk. Eventually, the silk industry was replaced by the growing of cotton. The last, and very lucrative crop was tobacco. Like rice and cotton, tobacco is a very labor-intensive crop. Tobacco was a minor crop during the trustee period. When slavery was legalized, tobacco became a major cash crop. Tobacco was grown mainly in the northern and western part of the state. See you next time on Georgia Studies Shorts.